All right, welcome to week 6, new 39, multiplying square roots. So we've seen how to simplify them. Now what happens when we have to multiply them together? So we have a couple things we can do. We can simplify them first if we can. Sometimes we don't have an option. Or we can multiply them and then simplify them. So if we look at number 1, we don't have a choice. We have to put them together before we simplify it because root 3 can't be simplified and root 10 can't be simplified. So we have to multiply them together, and anytime you have a root and a root, we can combine what's inside the roots and we can combine what's outside the roots, and we can put those together. But you can't combine something that's inside and outside. So going along with our jail metaphor before, when you're visiting jail, you can visit jail, but you can't all of a sudden incarcerate yourself, right? Same way, if you're a prisoner, you have to stay a prisoner. You can't all of a sudden decide you want to be free. So root 3 times root 10 gives you, root 30. Then you'd have to see if you can simplify. Now, we've seen this one a couple times in our previous videos. Root 30 is, although it is a larger one where you can't simplify, you are not able to because you cannot divide it by 25, 16, 9, or 4 and have it work out without a decimal. So you are all done. All right. What about this one? Now, still, you cannot simplify 3 or 15, so you have to put it together and get root 45. 3 times 15 is 45. And then you have to say to yourself, okay, 45. It's between 36 and 49. What can I divide it by? 36, no. 25, no. 16, no. 9, yes. So root 9, root 5, root 9 turns to a 3 root 5, and I'm done. Now, number 3 is an example where you could simplify root 28 before you start, but I don't always like doing that because when you simplify before you start, there's a chance that you'd have to simplify at the end, so you'd have to do it twice. Now, the downside to not simplifying is sometimes your numbers can get quite large and it can make your life more difficult. So it really is your choice what you'd rather do. I'm going to end up putting my numbers together and then simplify from there. So 28 times 2 gives me 56. Then I go from there. Divided by 49, 36, 25, 16, 9, 4. Root 4, root 14, turns into a 2, root 14. And I'm all done. Now, here's what I was talking about with the inside and the outside with the outside. So here we have multiplication. Notice it's not a foiling problem. It's not a double distributing problem because there's no pluses or minus. It does not get complicated yet. So we take 4 times 3 because they're the outside numbers, so 12. And 5 times 2 because they're the inside numbers, so root 10. And again, you're asking yourself, can I simplify? 10, can it divide by 9 or 4? No. So, although I'm erasing it, I don't want to do that. I want to say that I'm all done with it. All right, let's look at the back or the next page. All right, so looking at number 5, putting it together, I have root 100b. Okay, so that separates for me. I have root 100 and root b. Okay, 100 is a perfect square, so that turns into a 10. But the root b stays stuck because it does not have a partner in crime to come out with. It does not have the partner to escape with. So 10 root b is my answer, and I am done. All right, number 6. Putting it together, I get 20 root 18x squared, because 6 times 3 is 18. X times x is x squared. So the 20, I'm just going to draw an arrow because I have to remember it, but then I don't want to use it yet. So, or what you can do, again, if you're building that template for yourself, the 20 comes down and out immediately, right? So now the 18 is there. The x squared is there. Now, 18 simplifies into root 9 and root 2. Root 9 becomes 3 root 2, and you get a 3 and a root 2, which you don't need the root, a 2 out there, or in there, I should say. Root x squared, the root and the square cancel out. All right, we knew that though. So that just becomes an x, or one couple, and that comes out. So my final answer is 60x root 2. And I'm all done. All right, the next one, putting it together. -4 times -2 is positive 8. Root 8 times 3 is 24. A times A is A squared. Again, liking that template, especially for that front number. I know I need an 8 there, and now I can focus on the rest. So I can focus on the root 24. I can focus on the A squared. I know that A squared, those are going to cancel, leaving me with an A, and it's going to be on the outside. Now what about the 24? Well, 24 simplifies to root 4 and root 6. Root 4 turns into 2 root 6. So the 2 is out, the 6 is in. And what is my final answer? It's 16a root 6. All right, what about this final one? -3 times 2 is -6. Root AB squared. So I have, for my template, the -6 on the outside. I have root A and root B squared. Well, B squared, those cancel out and leave me with B on the outside. And the A is stuck with nowhere to go. And that is now on the inside. So I get -6B square root A. And we are all done. Just a few left. And you too will be done with this week's material. I'll talk to you all soon.